everyone present here. I, Anusha Mishra, extend a warm and cordial welcome to all the students, professors, and alumni to the second E-Annual Day celebration of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. We have put all endeavor to organize this event as realistic as possible. I now invite Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor A.B. Pandit, Vice President, Technological Association, Professor Ashok Atle, Chief Guest, Shri Ravi Goenka, who will be joining online, and Honorable Registrar, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, to please come up on the stage and occupy the distinguished chairs. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. So to begin today's event, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor A.B. Pandit, Vice President, Technological Association, Professor Ashok Atle, and Registrar, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, to please proceed for the lamp lighting ceremony. I would request everyone to please stand for National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा इंद्र हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
We will now have our Vidyapeeth Geet.
कीर्तिरक्षिके जगन्मान्य तु महन्मङ्गले
अभियन्ता तन्त्रज्ञकारिके शतप्रणाम हो तुझनायिके
नवक्षितिजे नव चेतनादे रसायन देविके श्री रसायन देविके श्री रसायन देविके श्री रसायन देविके देविके
I would now request Professor Ashok Atle to please welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir with a bouquet. I would request Professor Ashok Atle to please welcome Professor R.R. Deshmukh. I would request General Secretary, Technological Association to please present bouquet to Professor Ashok Atle. I would now invite Shri Prathamesh Patil, General Secretary, Technological Association to please welcome the audience.
Good evening to one and all present today. I am Prathamesh Patil, General Secretary, Technological Association. I am extremely privileged to have the opportunity to welcome you all on this auspicious occasion of Annual Day. I would like to welcome our chief guest, Shri Ravi Goenka, President ICC and Managing Director, Laxmi Organic Industries Ltd, Dr. Sanjay Mendre, President UDCT Alumni Association, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor A.B. Pandit, Vice President Technological Association Professor Ashok Atle, Registrar Professor R.R. Deshmukh, all teaching, non-teaching staff and all my colleagues. As we know, the annual day is the day when an academic year is about to end and a new one is all set to start. Therefore, I would like to present before you the annual report of Technological Association for the year 2020-21. Technological Association is one of the oldest student-run body for the welfare of ICT. It was incorporated in the year 1934. It organizes intra and intercollegiate events throughout the year and takes initiative in social activities. The motto being student welfare throughout activities ensuring overall personality development. Every student at the institute learns in a healthy environment, giving them opportunity to showcase their talents. Technological Association has 8 clubs and 3 festivals which it organizes throughout the year. First being Vortex, one of the India's largest ChemFest organized from 1st March to 7th March 2021. Last year we saw the first online mode of Vortex. This 8th edition of Vortex got highest form of support from UNESCO in the form of UNESCO patronage and support from Royal Society of Chemistry. Under Vortex, we have been carrying several masterclass lecture series which include a talk by Professor Vivek Polishettivar, Mr. Hanumantrao Gayakwad, Mr. Sohil Wazir and Professor Peter Roski. These are some of the snapshots of webinars and masterclasses which we can see on the screen. Coming next, Sports Club. Under the umbrella of Sports Club of ICT, we have arranged different sports talks and e-gaming online events. Colonel Rajavardhan Singh Rathod, Bhaichung Bhutia, Piyush Chawla and Sushil Kumar had enlightened the students regarding the sports culture of our country. An online fitness camp was organized by Many B. This year's ICT Marathon was organized virtually due to the pandemic and it got a huge participation of about 700 plus members. Here are some of the snapshots of the fitness workshop and the online gaming events which was arranged by the sports club. Coming to Manzar, it is the cultural festival organized by students from 25th to 28th March 2021. Mr. Rakesh Tiwari, a well-known poet, blessed Manzar on the opening night. Manzar 15.0 hosted the best comedians of the time, Abhishek Upmanyu and Rahul Dua. Apart from comedy night, Manzar 15.0 also hosted Prajakta Kohli for a small meet and greet session with the students. Entrepreneurship Cell ICT. E-Summit 2021 was conducted virtually this year from 11th to 14th March. We hosted speakers like Mr. Ashish Chauhan, MD and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, along with Mr. Prashant Nagare, CEO of Ferment Biotech. Events like e-quiz, pictures, virtual stock exchange, marketing box were arranged. Bombay Technologist. It's a platform for the building future pioneers of chemical technology where they pitch their idea before potential venture capitalists and gain valuable insights. Bombay Technologist aims to cater to the needs of aspiring startups right from their ideation and the initial lean phase towards the growth phase. The flagship event of Bombay Technologist is Metamorphosis. It also organized talks by Professor Anant Kapadi, who taught how to write research articles and what type of research papers can students find interesting and can also do the research. Coming to Music Club, it has two divisions, dance and the second being vocals and instrumentals. Music Club organizes performance of dance and music on various occasions such as Monsoon Night, Funtech, Euphoria, etc. Contingents from both the wings represent ICT in outside competitions. This year, everything being online, they also had a great session where many dance teachers taught performances online. Manthan Club. Manthan arranges various programs in Marathi language, which is the mother tongue of majority of people in the institute. The event Gappa Tappa was carried out on Zoom meeting and was live streamed on YouTube, which saw presence of renowned Marathi poet, lyricist and music composer Shri Sandeep Khare. On the occasion of Marathi Rajyabhasha Din, Manthan organized a beautiful program on 27th February 2021. The guest of honor for the event was Miss Khayati Deshpande, a Sanskrit scholar. TEDx ICT Mumbai. TEDx is a program of local self-organized events that bring people together to share a TED-like experience. At TEDx ICT Mumbai, we had speakers like Professor Sunil Bhagwat, Miss Swati Jagdish, Mr. Pranjal Kamra, Dr. Rachis Ella. The Literary Club. Literary Club publishes the annual magazine, The Spirit of ICT. It includes write-ups, photos, poems from students of ICT itself. The second edition of ICT Model United Nations was conducted on 3rd and 4th April 2021. Last, coming to Arts Club. There are two divisions in the Arts Club, Fine Arts Club and Performing Arts Club. Fine Arts Club, the flagship event being Art ICT, we invited around 7 professional artists for talk, webinar and for art show. The Performing Arts Club. The club serves as a medium for the students to express their feelings, emotions through their talent of drama, stand-up and fashion show. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratmesh, for giving us a precise walkthrough of the events organized by Technological Association.
Namaskar. Greetings from UDCT Alumni Association and its 7,000 plus strong alumni fraternity. I hope and pray that all of you and your loved ones are safe and well protected. The last 24 months have been extraordinary in the history of human civilization. It has upended businesses and economies, disrupted lifestyles and livelihood. No aspect of our life has been left untouched by the pandemic. Education has been no exception. Students have suffered the most with anxiety and uncertainty eating into their minds on a daily basis. There's a growing school of thought that the quality of education has been deeply dented in the last 2 years. This may be true to some extent, but it should not blind us to the tremendous gains. The loss in academic learning has been more than made up by lessons in collaboration and team spirit, adaptability, and resilience. These are no trifling gains and will serve students in great stead at their workplace and building their career. What has been lost in the swing has been more than made up on the roundabouts. At this point, we should pay our tributes to ICT authorities for their unflagging zeal in keeping the show going under exceptionally trying circumstances. The pandemic has had bright spots too. The brightest of them has been the acceleration of digitalization. Digitalization has brought many benefits: speed, efficiency, and transparency, just to name three. The biggest winner during the pandemic has been science and technology. The genetic sequence of coronavirus was published on 11th January 2020, and the first vaccine against COVID 19 was administered on 8th December 2020. In just 11 months, 11 months, by any yardstick, this will remain the most stupendous achievement in human history. When human history will be written in decades to come, the pandemic will find an important place. But how we vanquish the virus with vaccines will also be written in golden letters. We should all feel proud of belonging to that fraternity of scientists, technologists, and engineers who have made this possible. This has been made possible through unstinted collaboration between people across borders, across nations, a commodity that is increasingly getting scarce in this highly polarized world. The pandemic now appears to be on its way out. Travel restrictions are being eased, colleges and schools are reopening, but life will never be same. Some changes will be permanent. But just as the pandemic's ending, another even bigger monster is staring at us. We all know it by the name of climate change. The villain is a chemical, carbon dioxide. We not only need to stop emitting less, but also to suck out from the atmosphere what we have recklessly emitted in the last decades. Many countries and businesses have pledged to become net zero by middle of this century. Solutions are available, but they're expensive. We need to improve the efficiency of photovoltaic cells that are begun to plateau. We need to find better materials for wind turbines so that they can be easily recycled at the end of their useful life. We need to make batteries and fuel cells cheaper by finding inexpensive and longer lasting materials. We need to bring down the cost of green hydrogen and green ammonia by making the processes even more efficient. We need to improve the energy efficiencies of capturing carbon dioxide. The list is long, but in every one of these endeavors, chemical technologists and chemical engineers have a huge role to play. This decade and the next are expected to be full of spectacular innovations as we battle climate change to ensure that Earth continues to remain habitable. Let me now give you a snapshot of the activities of UDCT Alumni Association. Certificate Course in Practice of Chemical Technology, or CCPCT as it is popularly known, continues to be the flagship program of UAA. Currently, sixth edition of the course is underway. Over 60 third-year students have signed up for the course. The previous 5 editions of the course have also been very successfully received by the students. The course is taught by alumni having many years of industrial experience and covers topics like R&D, scale-up, design, projects, operations, marketing, and safety. The course is extremely useful to those who want to make their career choices. Another heartwarming project of UAA is providing financial assistance to students from less privileged backgrounds. In the last financial year, 22 students were provided interest-free loans to the tune of 10 lakh rupees. Students are expected to pay back these loans once they start earning. Another magnificent project of UAA is lab accreditation, in which sophisticated analytical instruments like chromatograph, spectrophotometer, surface area analyzer, muffled furnace, etc. have been installed in laboratories across departments. The value of this project is upwards of rupees 2 crores and has been only possible because of the generous donation of our alumni. Next on the cards is classroom upgradation, which is currently under active investigation by our Board of Governors. Let me now conclude by wishing you all success in your careers and in your remaining days in UDCT or ICT, especially those students who will be passing out this summer and taking up their careers. Hope that whatever you do will bring more laurels and esteem to our mother and make her even more proud of our children. Namaskar and Jai Hind.
I would now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor A.B. Pandit to please address the gathering.
Good afternoon. Today's chief guest, Shri Ravi Goenka, Vice President Technological Association, Professor Ashok Atle, Registrar, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, General Secretary, Prathamesh Patil, my faculty colleagues and staff, and my student friends. We are meeting after a long time. In fact, this annual day, which was supposed to be held every year, could not be held in 2021 for obvious reasons. However, it doesn't mean that ICT stopped functioning. In fact, ICT found many ways, and I'm going to have a pictorial presentation of whatever we have been able to do. When we say we mean ICT, have been able to do in the past 2 years. We haven't been just sitting on our laurels. We continue to perform in academics, continue to perform in co-curricular and extracurricular activities, and the current display of all these images, which I am going to run through, will confirm what I am stating and will again ensure the fact that ICT has been at the forefront of academic excellence and practicing it by leading the example. So let me welcome the chief guest, Shri Ravi Goenka, who has been assisting us through many of the activities, and I am very happy that he accepted our invitation, and he is also the annual day orator, and you will hear him in due course of time. So let me start with the annual report, and these are some of the highlights of the important activities since the last annual day, which was held in April 2020. So we are nearly meeting after 22 months again for celebrating this event. There is my photograph here, which should not be, but just for the sake of completion, because the same report also needs to be submitted to the National Board of Accreditation, and for the sake of completion, I have included my photograph here, but in reality, it is not required. Let me move on to the Faculty Research Awards, because this annual day, we are essentially celebrating the achievements of our staff, faculty, and students. I am very happy that 10 of the faculty, ICT faculty, have been rated in the top 20% of the scientists in the world as per the survey which was carried out by Stanford University. These are the names of these 10 distinguished scientists, and you can see that ranging from the young scientists or young colleagues like Dr. Parag Gokte, who is at the top of the list, to old people like us or Professor Yadav, are still struggling to meet up with these, but at the same time, it is being shown that old doesn't mean that you stop working. The annual day, which was celebrated in 2020, had an occasion where Padma Shri Professor Rohini Godbole of Indian Institute of Science, representing Center for High Energy Physics, was the chief guest. In fact, we had an opportunity to invite her twice, as you will see during the presentation. So, annual day celebrations, which occurred last time on August 4th, 2020, was inaugurated, and Professor Rohini Godbole gave her address on the annual day. Some of the accolades achieved by the institute are to be named first before I move on to individual departments' achievements. The recent ranking of QS World University Ranking, ICT has performed very well. It was ranked between 101 and 150 and ranked in India at a position of 6th. The Pharmacy and Pharmacology worldwide ranking 251 to 300, India ranks 7. Chemistry world ranking 301 to 350 with India rank 9. As you can see, it clearly indicates that ICT's academic performance has been going on very well. The next, we had a 9th convocation, which was organized again in a virtual mode on 2nd September 2020, where Professor R. Chidambaram, Padma Vibhushan, graced the occasion as a chief guest, and guest of honor was Shri Sanjeev Singh, former chairman and managing director of Indian Oil Ltd, who was instrumental in assisting us in starting our ICT IOC Bhubaneswar campus. These are some of the snapshots of these events where I would proudly declare that on this day of the convocation, 9th convocation, we honored two of our well-wishers and alumni, one Professor K.K. Garda and Dr. Anil Kakodkar with honorary DSc, and some of the celebrations with the recognition of the students' achievement can be seen in these photographs. Of course, our Chancellor, Professor Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, graced the occasion and advised the students in terms of what needs to be done and what should be done, especially during the pandemic period. On that day, we graduated 271 masters, 145 doctorates, and 239 bachelor students. So you can imagine that more than 600 students graduated during the 9th convocation. So in doctorate graduation, 145 is one of the highest in the country, coming from a single institute having a population of not more than 2,200, 2,300 students. The next occasion to celebrate was the superannuation of the ICT Jalna Director, Professor Mrs. Smita Lele, and Professor Uday Annapure, coming from the same department, Department of Food and Fermentation Technology, took over as a new director. These are some of the photographs of that, and Professor Smita Lele continues as an emeritus professor, still guiding the work which she started, and the growth of the institute is phenomenal, as we will see in due course of time. Fortunately, unfortunately, I was handed over an additional responsibility to take over as a Vice Chancellor of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, because the then Vice Chancellor resigned. So I was requested to take over this charge, which I did on the 1st of March 2021, and initially the commitment was only for a period of 3 to 6 months, but fortunately or unfortunately, it continued till 3rd of January 2022, when I handed back the charge to the new Vice Chancellor, Professor Karbari Kale. The things which I learned about this at that point of time, within this span of 8 to 9 months, we were able to do many things for the institute, for the Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, where we could get the long-awaited promotions of faculty as well as staff. And after nearly 25 years of its existence, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's big statue could be inaugurated. We installed it and was inaugurated at the hands of Shri Uday Samant, Honorary Minister for Technical Education and Higher Education. We celebrated Independence Day subsequently on 2020, where the chief guest, Shri Lalitbhai Chanda, our well-wisher and a distinguished alumni, was present in a virtual mode. But you can see from here the inauguration, the hoisting of the flag on the Independence Day and the addressing of the gathering by Shri Lalit Chadda virtually. Subsequent was the Independence Day function in 2021, where chief guest was again our distinguished alumnus, Shri Dinesh Deshpande, ex-executive director of HPCL, who recited many funny events during his undergraduate days, and it was very entertaining, and told the students that how entertainment as well as learning can be carried out in a simultaneous and manner in which everybody can enjoy and everybody can effectively take part in the personal as well as professional growth. Subsequent to that, on a Republic Day in 2021, we inaugurated SM Mokashi Incubation Center, where ICT NICE, the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development or Entrepreneurship Activity, is being housed, and currently we are incubating 4 of our students as well as alumni, and we plan to increase this number substantially in this coming year. The 10th convocation then subsequently was conducted on 22nd March 2021, and fortunately Professor Rohini Godbole again was the chief guest on that particular occasion. Again, it was a completely virtual event, and you can see the photographs where Professor Rohini Godbole addressing the audience as well as Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, our Chancellor, addressing the audience on this particular occasion. Some of the photographs again showing the honoring of the students who have received merits, gold medals, and the list of these awardees again you would come to know towards the end of the program. The entire list for 2021 has been announced, and partial list will be announced for 21-22, because some of these assessment processes are going on and they will be declared and put on the website of the institute. During this convocation, 10th convocation, which was an e-function, we again graduated 170 masters, 7 chemical technology diploma, chemical technology management diploma, 52 doctorates, and 218 bachelors. Now, this interim convocation, which we decided to have because students had to wait for a long period, and we decided to follow up the practice which is followed in IITs, where IITs plan 2 convocations. First is called as a main convocation, and second is called as an interim convocation. So we decided to follow suit, as a result of which no student has to wait for more than 6 months to get their degree in hand. On the subsequent convocation, which was the 11th interim convocation, as I said earlier, we were fortunate to have the Secretary DST, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, as a chief guest. And he gave one of the most outstanding convocation addresses, combining philosophy, the learning methodology, the learning requirement, and the learning utility. Now, this was indeed a thought-provoking address which made people, faculty, staff as well as students to think about the objective of learning in a course while they get their degree. Let me show you some other photographs of the same. Again, Dr. Mashelkar addressed the gathering in his capacity as a chancellor. And on that day, we graduated 160 masters, 7 diploma, 52 doctorates, PhDs, and 237 bachelors. What happened was, because of the COVID and the disturbance, the entire academic schedule got disturbed. As a result of which, the examination could happen maybe sometimes 2 months later. By that time, the old convocation date would have gone, and the students would have had to wait nearly 6 to 18 months or so to wait for the next convocation. And that's the reason we decided to have interim convocation, which has happened very successfully. Subsequently, on a foundation day on 1st of October 2021, we had the fortune of getting the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Bhagat Singh Koshyari ji, as a chief guest. On that day, we inaugurated 2 of the best labs ever built in the ICT. The Lab of Pharmaceutical Technology and a second lab, Department of Specialty Chemical Technology, were inaugurated at the august hands of Shri Bhagat Singh Koshyari ji. He spent nearly 2 hours with us and advised the students in a very nice chest Hindi as well as English, cracking many jokes, and it was a very lively event. Now we move on to the achievements of our faculty. And one of the single most achievements which is most important to convey is Professor G.D. Yadav being elected to the US National Academy of Engineering for research, innovation and education in green chemistry, catalysis, nanotechnology and chemical engineering, leading to clean and green technologies. Now, as of now, till now, 23 of the academics or engineers have been elected to the fellowship of US National Academy of Engineering, out of which 18 are still alive and 5 have passed away. And out of these 18, 5 are from ICT alone. To name these 5 is Shri Mukesh Ambani, Professor M.M. Sharma, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, Professor J.B. Joshi, and now Professor G.D. Yadav. ICT is extremely proud of their achievements. The next big award to be declared is Zayed Sustainability Award, which was backed by a startup led by Dr. Vaibhav Tidke and is ably supported by his supervisor, Professor Bhaskar Thorat. Compliments and congratulations to them. Professor P.D. Vaidya has been awarded Dr. Naresh Suchak Innovation Award of 2021 to recognize and honor the best research and scientific contribution and contributing to the innovation. Now let us move on to the individual departments, and again I am going to have 1 or 2 photographs of each of these departments, just showcasing the kind of activities which have gone on in the past 2 years, irrespective of the pandemic affecting us. From chemical engineering, we organized a conference in association with ICS on green chemistry, and more than 70 people participated and presented their papers. The conference lasted for a period of 3 days. Then we move on to the Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, which arranged number of online lectures, starting with Dr. M.V. Nimkar Endowment Lecture on the new normal in chemical R&D, sustainability, digitization, globalization and open innovation by Dietmar Huglin, Director of BASF Innovation Campus. Now he elaborated the kind of process which is to be followed or which is usually followed in one of the most innovative companies such as BASF, and advised the students to follow that particular path. Subsequently, Professor W.B. Achwal oration was organized and was given by Dr. Rajiv Padde on 3rd of June 2021. Dr. Rajiv Padde, Dr. Rajiv Padde is a professor at RMIT Australia, and all these events took place in an online mode. Then it was Professor G.M. Nabar endowment oration, again on sustainability in textile, utilizing natural resources. Let me see if I haven't missed out on any. No, that's right. As you can see throughout, because I think this issue of sustainability has taken a leading role in our life, especially after the pandemic struck us, you would have seen the effect of industrial activity, anthropological activity affecting our environment, as a result of which appropriately addressing the issues of sustainability and addressing the sustainability development goals as pronounced by UN became the theme for most of the activities. We continued with the soft skill development workshop on an interview through Mr. Ashok Vasandani and Mr. Lalit Khurana on 29 September 2021. Again, LN Chemical ICT Diamond Jubilee lecture was given by Dr. T.V. Srikumar, Director BTRA, who has been our close collaborators for a number of years, I would say, since the starting and inception of BTRA. We continued this particular activity with the industry expectation from textile graduate talk by Mr. Naresh Bhatt, which clearly indicated that whatever syllabus which we are teaching, whatever practicals which we are carrying out, how relevant these syllabus and practical are, and how they need to be revised, they need to be made extremely dynamic to continue the learning process as well as process which allows them to practice their learning in an industry. Continuing the theme, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology had multiple activities which is carried out. One of the main activity which I said that this new DPST center was opened. I am requesting all the students to go and visit this modern center as well as the laboratory, which is the most sophisticated laboratory, meeting all the safety standards of Europe as well as US, carrying out research in the area of chemistry. To name few achievements of the pharma department is Vasvik Award 2020 was given to Professor S.V. Joshi, and Professor S.V. Joshi, Professor Prashant Karkar and Professor V.N. Telvekar were elected as a fellow of Indian Chemical Society. Professor S.V. Joshi also was elected as a fellow of Maharashtra Academy of Sciences, and Professor Padma Devarajan was nominated and selected as a distinguished alumnus of the ICT. Professor V.B. Patrawale received, this is incorrect, it's not a fellow of National Academy of Engineering, she received APJ Abdul Kalam distinguished professorship for implementation. So I will correct this, but it is as prestigious as receiving a J.C. Bose Fellowship of the Department of Science and Technology. And this is a spectacular achievement on part of Professor Vandana Patrawale, and I am very happy and we would like to all congratulate her on this. Department of Chemistry also organized the first virtual Chem Careers event led by Professor Ananta Kapadi, which was addressed by Julie Franklin and Radesh Welling, Managing Director of Naveen Fluorine International, and Julie Franklin of Royal Society of Chemistry. It was organized in collaboration with the Royal Society of Chemistry. Department of Chemistry continued their activity and organized many other seminars, especially again maintaining the theme of sustainable chemistry for future technologies. Again, many of these activities and seminars, as you can see, were graced by eminent speakers from a variety from all over the world, addressing and benefiting the students. To name some of the achievements of this, they also organized departmental activities, many departmental activities which have been listed out, and many of these departmental activities have been supported by the Royal Society of Chemistry. And in continuation of that, Dr. Anand Kapadi was elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry as a leaders in the field category in 2021. Congratulations to Professor Ananta Kapadi. We move on to Department of Physics. You would find that every department, to the best of their abilities, have not just been sitting idle. They have been talking to the experts, requesting the experts to address our students online, and there have been a flurry of activities, especially the online activities. We procured number of Zoom licenses where more than 300 students could participate and attend these. Many of these events have been live streamed on YouTube, so I'm sure if anybody has missed any event, they can go and look at it at leisure again. Department of Polymer and Surface Engineering, they again continued the major thrust areas, polymer recycling, blends and rheology, polymer processing, again issues related to the sustainability. Coatings based on renewable resource materials, anti-corrosive coatings, and advanced type of polymerizations, essentially polymerizations controlled by radical initiators. Now these are very useful and a part of green and sustainable technologies or sustainable chemistry, which is followed in the area of polymers and polymer blends. The activity continued, and some of the awards which were received by the Faculty of Polymers and Surface Engineering, Mr. Umesh Mahajan, working under the supervision of Professor S.T. Maske, received Prime Minister's Fellowship. Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj National Research Fellowship was given to Mr. Dhananjay Patil, working under Professor Maske. And Professor Maske was appointed as a jury member of Economic Times, expert to Technical Advisory Committee, technical expert to Plastic Waste Committee. So you can see that the faculty is not only involved in teaching and research, but they are getting socially active and getting involved in many of the social issues, contributing to the policy of our country and the future of our technology. This just gives a list of all the departmental projects. A total of nearly 4 crores of extramural funding was generated by Polymer and Surface Engineering. And I'm happy to tell you that we have received huge grants. I mean, the total extramural funding which we have received in the past 2 years exceeds 40 crores. All research programs or research projects or proposals which have been accepted and which have been going on. Some more of this, and this is really noteworthy to mention here. Professor Yogesh M. Joshi from IIT Kanpur, Chemical Engineering Department, IIT Kanpur, specifically conducted a series of lectures specially organized for our polymer students. Now he started with a very basic and fundamental understanding of rheology and showed how rheology is likely to be, not likely to be, is used or is to be used in the processing of the plastic, be it polymerization reaction, be it molding of the reaction. And if you get a chance, all these lectures are available on YouTube. You should go and listen to these particular lectures and see how effective communication and the effective conveying of the concepts can be carried out. Department of Mathematics again continued with, because it's essentially knowledge dissemination related activity, they were very actively involved in the TechWhip 3 twining program with BIT Mesra and GCE Keonjhur, mentoring them in terms of the research as well as getting involved in industrial activity as well as having a visibility which is necessary for them to attract funding. General engineering similarly worked in the area of urban water management, use of glass and carbon fiber in polymer composites. Webinars were organized, multiple webinars were organized in terms of construction materials, use of plastic pipes, endowment lectures from Professor Pradeep Kumar of IIT Roorkee, webinar on cost-effective water storage technology for rural by Shri U.M. Paranchpe, and J.N. Kapadia talked about the polymer industry readiness to handle the pandemic as well as the future. Dr. M.B. Parmar, Managing Director of Polyblend Color Concentrations on Master Batches on Plastic was also conducted by General Engineering Department. They continued this particular activity, as I said, related to water, and you can see some of these photographs where multiple attendants can be seen. DBT ICT Center for Energy Biosciences continues their activity in the area of 2G ethanol and many of these activities. I am very happy to tell you that couple of patents which were granted to ICT have been licensed out with the annual license fee of rupees 50 lakhs to some of the chemical industries which is planning to set up this particular plant with an assistance of the patent as well as technical assistance coming from ICT. Again, they said many algorithms and programs were organized by DBT Energy Sciences Centers in computers, automation in life, science-based research held on 30th of August to 3rd September over a period of 4 days. Let's move on to our attention to now the out campuses. ICT IOCB activities which can be seen here is the inauguration of Bindusagar Lake cleaning, which was at the hands of the Minister Shri Dharmendraji Pradhan. You can see Professor Thorag inaugurating and doing the Bhumi Pujan of 73 acres of land which was donated to us by the government of Odisha, where the new campus is likely to be inaugurated. ICT IOC welcomed the new leaders. Professor Pradeep Vavia was appointed as a director from 1st of January 2022 and Professor Anand Patwardhan as a deputy director of ICT IOC from 1st December 2021. Let's move on and I'll show you some snapshots of ICT IOCB activities where Dr. Rambabu Dandela participated in the Commonwealth Games flag past. Dr. Lisa Rai joined Chem Plus Chem as an early career advisory board member. Dr. Saurabh Patankar bagged the best presenter award at the Shanghai Corporation. He also developed this UV sanitization bag and is currently incubating in ICT NICE. He also developed a biosafety chamber for COVID-19 sample collection and sample analysis. This is where the social entrepreneurship activity promoted by the group led by Professor Bhaskar Thorat, where he is interacting with the tribals and the populations which are below the poverty line and assisting them in training them in use of solar conduction dryers, the product which is developed, which also received that Zayed Award which I mentioned to you earlier, and he is actively involved in making multiple interactions and promoting this particular program. Now, ICT IOC activities during the pandemic period that they initiated 3 named lecture, Professor Damodar Acharya Endowment Oration, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav Distinguished Oration Award and Pramod Khosla Endowment Oration. Now, first was given by Professor V.K. Tiwari, who is a director of IIT Kharagpur. Second was given by Professor Samir Mitragrotri, and Pramod Khosla Endowment Oration was given by Dr. R.A. Mashelkar. Professor Jigisha Parekh of SVNIT was appointed as a B.D. Tilak visiting professor, and only last week ICT, IOC and SVNIT jointly conducted a workshop on sustainable technologies using chemical engineering principles. Dr. Mukund Chorgade talked about the sustainability in drug discovery using natural products, and you can see some of the photographs leading to the kind of activities Woodcraft carried out, Gateway to Success, and you can see the level of sophisticated instruments which have been now installed in ICT IOC and continuing this activity. They also conducted co-curricular as well as extracurricular activities, as I listed out earlier, which talks about and shows the type of activities or the involvement of the students as and when they were available on the campus. Similarly, ICT March was not far behind. They also installed most of the research apparatus which was available, and ICT March again continues these activities. They also organized seminars, World Food Day, then a nutrition fiesta, then awareness program in terms of nutrition and health, webinar on Raman spectroscopy, and these are still continuing. Dr. Manoj Gawande, one of the faculty of ICT March, was also recognized as one of those top scientists by Stanford, and he was also elected as ICS Lifetime Fellow. Now, before I conclude, I just want to make one singular spectacular achievement, and that is of Professor Rekha Singhal, current head of the Department of Food and Fermentation Technology. Now, she was elected to the Fellowship of Indian National Science Academy. After a long time, ICT has now been recognized again beyond chemical engineering and clearly indicating that the other chemical technology branches are equally important and they can continue to contribute to the growth of the nation. So before I say thank you to you, I would like to just say that this is a day to remember, this is a day to rejoice, and this is a day to start our activity. Even though we are meeting virtually, I promise you that the next annual day will be conducted in person, in presence, and we'll gather together and celebrate it with full gusto. Thank you very much and enjoy the evening. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for providing us the valuable insights and accolades of Institute of Chemical Technology. I would now request Vice President, Technological Association, Professor Ashok Atle, to please introduce our chief guest, Shri Ravi Goenka, President, ICC and Managing Director, Laxmi Organic Industries Ltd.
Namaste, good evening, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Registrar, UA President, General Secretary, and my friends. I am honored to be present here as a representative of Technological Association, and with great pleasure I would like to introduce the orator and chief guest of today's function, the UA Annual Day function, Shri Ravi Goenka ji. Ravi Goenka ji is the Chairman and Managing Director of Laxmi Organic Industries Ltd, and this is basically organization which is specialized in the specialty chemical domain. And Laxmi Organics is the largest manufacturer of ethyl acetate in India and one of the largest suppliers of fuel grade ethanol for the specific end use application. Ravi Goenka ji did his BTech chemical engineering from the Bangalore University, and since last 36 years he is active in the domain of the chemical industry segment and the allied industries like paper and pharmaceuticals. Ravi Goenka ji is also active in the field of education and the knowledge development. He is director of the International Knowledge Park and established schools like Ecole School and Russell College. Ravi Goenka ji is ex-trustee of Mumbai Port Trust and Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust and president of the executive committee of Indian Chemical Society Council. So, we'll request Ravi Goenka ji to please share his thoughts and address the august audience. Thank you.
We will now be heading towards University Alumni Association Distinguished Oration by Chief Guest Shri Ravi Goenka, President, ICC and Managing Director, Laxmi Organics Ltd.
Thank you, Professor Ashok Athalye, the Vice President of a Technological Association, for your kind words and introduction. I would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to the dignitaries on the dais for the completion of yet another successful academic session, given the stress of lockdown and the shift to virtual classrooms. I extend my warm greetings to Shri Prathamesh G. Patil, General Secretary of the Technological Association, Dr. Sanjay Mehendale, President of the UDCT Alumni Association, and Professor Anirudh Pandit and Professor R.R. Deshmukh, of course. A word of gratitude and admiration for Professor J.B. Joshi, who has been my mentor and guiding light to solving many complex chemical equations. But most importantly, my congratulations and best wishes to all ICT students who have the privilege of being part of one of the finest institutions in the country. I feel a profound sense of humility to have been invited here to the annual day of the ICT as a chief guest. While I was insisting on Professor Anirudh to invite someone more accomplished and a better orator, he persisted and did not give me a choice. And so here I am trying to live up to his expectations. Let me share with you my own journey during my formative years in the chemical industry. Way back in 1985, after graduating from chemical engineering from the Bangalore University, my father insisted that I should not get into our family business of paper trading, but set up a chemical manufacturing plant in Maharashtra. I went about, we identified a technologist who used to live in our building, identified a product, oxalic acid, and bought a land at Mahad and started setting up this factory. At that point in time, the factory was a small scale industry with an investment of about 65 lakh rupees and financed primarily from our family savings and from MSFC. And over the next 2 or 3 years, as Murphy's Law would state, whatever can go wrong did go wrong. From the technology to the economies of scale, to the marketing, to the product quality, everything was completely different from the way that we thought things would be. And the end result, in 2-3 days' time, I had washed out my entire family's wealth, our entire savings. And it was a very traumatic and time where I was completely devastated because of this small scale industry venture that I set out to do. Fortunately, a family friend introduced me to Professor J.B. Joshi. And instantly he took me in his fold. He introduced Naresh Suchak, who was a PhD student under him and who was an expert at nitration, to be involved in our project as the chief coordinator from his side. And very soon, Naresh had worked out a plan detailed plan after a lot of experimentations, after a lot of simulations. Naresh and me spent a lot of time at our factory. We became very close friends. And he worked out a complete plan to transform our unit into the right kind of a technology and a right kind of a scale. And very soon, we had set up a new plant with the right scale, the right technology, the right yield, and the right qualities. And within a year or two, we had started being above the water, break even, and also into profitability. My big learning from this experience was that technology is king and that scale is key. I can only say in this experience of mine that never waste a crisis. Don't give up. Keep on at it with your best intention, with all the hard work. And instead of looking at the worst side, always look at the best side and do your best to succeed. While you can forget the mistake, don't forget the lessons. This opportunity then gave me a real-time education, albeit a very expensive one, on understanding the business of chemicals, and set me up to take larger projects. With this experience in hand, I had the confidence to set up Laxmi Organic Industries way back in 1990, which was primarily set up to manufacture bioacetic acid and ethyl acetate, a green solvent. This time we didn't do any mistake, and we took the best technology available at that time, which was a Swedish technology by Chemator, and we implemented a continuous plant for acetic acid and ethyl acetate. Over the years, we grew this plant manyfold. We improvised on the technology internally. We also changed the design of the entire reactor system. We made the utilities more efficient, and to the extent that we had built inbuilt capacity now to offer this technology to other consumers in the world and other producers, and we successfully implemented 2 such projects in other countries as well. Today, our country is one of the largest producers of these products, which we call acetyls, in India. My second stint was just 12 years back. That was in the year 2009-2010. We acquired the business of Clariant in Thane, which was a specialty intermediate business, and relocated this entire plant to a greenfield site at Mahad. This was for manufacturing of diketene and its derivatives. At that point in time, we had just 6 products that Clariant had commercialized in India. This is where we started our journey in the research and development work. We set up our own R&D lab in 2010. Today, I can proudly say that we have more than 80 or 90 talented people working in the lab and on different products, different projects. And we have a state-of-the-art laboratory in New Bombay of 30,000 square feet. We have commercialized more than 40 products that serve various industries like pharma, agro, pigments, and the industrial sectors. The learning from this is that research and development are integral to the business of chemicals and enables us to be ahead of the competition globally. ICT is synonymous with, and many of my industry colleagues would attest to, the fact that the best chemical companies in India have been founded by the alumni of this great institute. And I'm sure that even more companies will emerge as leaders tomorrow by many of you. I am also privileged to be a part of our premier chemical association for manufacturers of chemicals, which is the Indian Chemical Council, in the capacity of its president. ICC and ICT have many things in common. ICT was established as the erstwhile UDCT in 1933, and as commerce always follows technology, ICC was established 5 years later in 1938. Both of these organizations were pre-independence organizations and were led by stalwarts, academicians, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. ICT and ICC, in my opinion, represent the yin and the yang, and they are both complementary to each other. Neither of them can attain their full potential by themselves, but together they can make an exponential contribution to India's growth and to the world of chemicals in particular. ICC organizes various technical seminars and also has a very active technology committee where there is great interaction between the academia, the R&D, and the industry representatives. The annual ICC awards are revered as the Oscars of the chemical industry. And I'm extremely pleased to say that last year, Professor Anirudh Pandit kindly accepted our ICC DM Trivedi Lifetime Achievement Award for contribution to the chemical industry in the space of education and research. Heartiest congratulations, Dr. Pandit, Professor Pandit. Let me now double click on the status of the chemical industry today. I truly believe that the chemical industry in India is at an inflection point. It can be the IT moment for the chemical industry. In my career of 35 years in this industry, I have not seen so many opportunities coming our way, from multinationals wanting to set up dedicated plants and also willing to share newer and advanced technologies with us. While a part of this phenomena can be the China Plus One strategy, the proof of this high traction is in the super capex cycle that the chemical industry is presently going through. Every chemical industry of repute in India today has capexes lined up like never before over the next many years. India has an ecosystem that is ideal for growth. Our country has been manufacturing chemicals for more than a century, more than 100 years, and we have a talent pool. We have so many chemical institutions of repute. The consumption in India is growing, and we also have a very robust pharma and agro industry base where their requirement of raw materials and intermediates keep growing at a very fast pace. There is no question that our engineering capabilities and the fabrication of plant and machinery required for our projects are very much available, quality products at affordable prices, and we also have other service providers across the facets of the chemical industry at very reasonable costs. As you may be aware, today our industry is changing from being just a chemical manufacturing hub to being a sustainable chemical manufacturing hub. Waste treatment is no longer a cost center. Economy and ecology go hand in hand and offer all of us great opportunities for waste re-engineering and creating wealth from waste. ESG, environment, social, and governance, are no longer just buzzwords in the boardrooms. They are being completely accepted across the entire organization as a must-have rather than just a tick box. You will see billions and trillions of dollars in our planet pouring into renewable energy sources like green hydrogen and green chemicals. For example, our ethanol-based industry that in India was thriving in the 1960s, right up to the early 2000s, but due to the petrochemical route, this industry had to take a back seat and was replaced by the petrochemical route. But today, products manufactured by the bio route are being more and more demanded. There's a new acceptance for it, and my belief is that this will grow exponentially in the future as well. Companies are asking for raw materials and intermediates which are green, which are alcohol based and carbon neutral. This is also quite evident with the oil blending program of our government, where the OMCs or the oil marketing companies are now mandated to blend 10 to 20% of their alcohol with anhydrous alcohol. Chemicals is the mother industry of all industries and is an enabler for every other industry. As these industries goes, maybe automobiles, maybe cement, maybe steel, maybe any industry that you can think of, chemicals is a core part of that industry. As these grow, we will also grow with them and more. Let me tell you that there are many decades where nothing happens, but many years where decades happen. I believe that in the chemical industry, we are in this phase of these many years where decades will happen, and we will see such growth that we have never seen before. All the students today over here are truly privileged. You cannot imagine how privileged you are because you are in the finest institute and probably at the best time ever in history of India to get into this niche of science. It could not be more serendipitous for you, and I believe you will have choices that many before or after you may not have. India will see a super cycle of chemical manufacturing over the next 10 years and will grow many-fold from today. The chemical industry will contribute tremendously to our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of a $5 trillion economy, and while many of the products will be import substitutes, there will be ample opportunities for exports as well. ICT has nurtured the lives of many luminaires. We have 3 Padma Vibhushans, 8 Padma Bhushans, 8 Padma Shri awardees, many Royal Society members, and several fellowships. From Dr. Mashalkar, Professor M.M. Sharma, Mukesh Ambani, Professor J.B. Joshi, and now Professor G.D. Yadav, who have been elected to the prestigious National Academy of Engineering, USA. We have more than 500 first-generation entrepreneurs, some owners of Fortune 500 companies. We have 640 ongoing doctorate students. We are having master's program of 331 students in the first year and 225 in the second year, and many, many, many more such laudable numbers. And therefore, all I can say is, students, you should make the most of this. Absorb from your teachers as much as you can. This is your moment in time, and this is your moment to create an India for tomorrow. In conclusion, I would just like to mention my learnings. Technology is king and scale is key. R&D keeps you ahead of the curve. Keep investing. Students, you are in the best place and probably the best time in history. The only risk is in not taking one. There are great wealth creation opportunities in waste re-engineering, green chemicals, and in the manufacture of specialty and fine chemicals. I wish you all the success that you truly deserve, and may each of you reach the potential that is destined for you to achieve and change the world. Thank you very much, Dr. Pandit, again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, students, and wish you all the very best.
On this occasion of the annual day, I would like to thank Shri Ravi Bhai for accepting our invitation and giving UA Distinguished Orator Award lecture or oration, and we would like to thank him by giving a short and a small memento for us to remember, to be remembered. Thank you. Ravi Bhai, please receive it graciously. Thank you. आज आणखीन एक चांगलं काम करायचं आहे, ते म्हणजे आपल्या ICTचं स्टाफनी लिहिलेलं एक मॅगझिन असतं, जे दरवर्षी आपण पब्लिश करतो. त्या मॅगझिनचं ज्याचं नाव हिंदोळा आहे, आज आपण इनॉग्रेशन करतो आहे. आणि त्याच्यामध्ये हे सगळं काम करण्यामध्ये मिसेस विनीता हुवाळ ही नेहमीच लीड घेते. तिचं आपण कौतुक करूया आणि आज हिंदोळाचं इनॉग्रेशन झालं असं मी डिक्लेअर करतो. हे तुम्हाला ई फॉर्ममध्ये आणि काही प्रिंटेड फॉर्ममध्ये पण अवेलेबल होईल ॲन्युअल डे पुढच्या आठवड्यामध्ये. धन्यवाद.
We will now be heading towards the awards and prizes for the year 2020-2021. Professor R.A. Rajadhyaksh Best Teacher Award, Second Year Bachelor of Chemical Engineering goes to Professor S.S. Bhagwat. Professor R.A. Rajadhyaksh Best Teacher Award, Final Year Bachelor of Chemical Engineering goes to Dr. V.H. Dalvi. Best Teacher Award, Second Year Bachelor of Pharma goes to Professor Sadhna Sathe and Professor P.D. Amin. Best Teacher Award, Final Year Bachelor of Pharma goes to Mr. M.H. Navlur. Best Teacher Award, Second Year Bachelor of Technology goes to Dr. Sangamitra Chatterjee. Best Teacher Award, Final Year Bachelor of Technology goes to Professor A.B. Pandit. Professor D.V. Rege, AFST, Mumbai Chapter, 2011 Endowment for Best Teacher Award goes to Professor R.S. Singhal. Gunvant Karamchari Puraskar for ICT Employee goes to Shri Janardhan G. Mandavkar. Sponsor Award for Temporary or Permanent Staff working in Vice Chancellor Office goes to Shri Parag D. More. Gunvant Karamchari Puraskar for ICT Employee Technical goes to Shri Prakash Chavan. Gunvant Karamchari Puraskar for ICT Employee Class 4 goes to Shri Ranjendra Kamble. Professor M.M. Sharma Best Gardener Employee goes to Shri Chandrakant Govind Prabhu. Best Employee from Accounts Department goes to Shri Manish Gaurav and Mrs. Kavita Patil. Professor N.R. Kamath Book Authors Award goes to Professor Laxmi Anant Narayan. ICT Golden Jubilee Innovative PhD Thesis Award goes to Dr. Dinesh Jayawant Ahir Rao. Dr. K.H. Gharda Best Thesis Award goes to Dr. Shashank Surendra Tiwari. Ambuja Cement Best PhD Tech Thesis Award goes to Dr. Saurabh Milind Joshi. Ambuja Cement Best PhD Science Thesis Award goes to Dr. Deval Suresh Rao Deshmukh. Professor S.B. Chandalia Best Communicator Award for PhD Tech and PhD Science goes to Mr. Keyur Moradia and Ms. Shalaka Moher and Mr. Viplav Pise and Ms. Rutuja Bhoje. Ambuja Cement Best Master's Thesis Award in Chemical Engineering goes to Ms. Leena Vaidya. O.P. Narula Best Master of Chemical Engineering Thesis Award goes to Mr. Naman Kukreja. Golden Jubilee Best ICT Student Award goes to Mr. Himanshu Sail and Ms. Ramya Raghunathan. ICT Alumni Association Prize for Best Student from Penultimate Year is shared between Mr. Rajesh Mehendale of Chemical Engineering Department, Ms. Bhairavi Egbote of Fibers and Textiles Technology, Mr. Anirudh Marathe from Pharmaceutical Science and Technology, Ms. Urmi Chile from Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Technology. Professor V.C. Malshe Endowment Award for Highest Aggregate Marks in BTech Chemical Engineering and Chemistry. First 3 years award to be given to student of 6th semester Bachelor of Technology goes to Ms. Mathli Joshi. Late Shri Vasant Vittal Mali Award for Topper in 3rd year Chemical Engineering goes to Mr. Merul Shah. Sardar J.S. Sarn Gold Medal was instituted by our DICE alumnus 1978 batch Mr. S.S. Sarna in memory of his father Sardar J.S. Sarna. It is awarded to the graduating student of the BTech DICE Technology scoring highest CGPA, and it goes to Mr. Atharv Thigale. Late Professor W.B. Achawal for MTech Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, standing first in final year, goes to Mr. Sangram Singh Shankar Rao Salunke. Shri G.M. Marve Prize for Most Research-Oriented Group from Chemical Engineering goes to Professor V.K. Rathod. Mr. S.G. Marve Prize for Most Research-Oriented Student from Chemical Engineering goes to Mr. Chinmay Deshpande. M.M. Gadre Innovative Project Award for research work in the area of water and wastewater treatment goes to Mr. Animesh Chaturvedi. Dr. K.K. Saxena Award for securing highest aggregate marks for the first 7 semesters of the BTech Surface Engineering goes to Amey Jagtap. Dr. Bal S. Joshi Endowment for Recognition of Innovative Thinking, Creativity and Performance Award goes to Ms. Akansha Gubala. Rama and P.K. Kanan Endowment Award for All-Round Performance goes to Mr. Amit Kumar Chauhan. Professor R.A. Rajadhyaksh Innovative Project Award for 2nd year Chemical Engineering goes to Ms. Gargi Yadav. Professor V.G. Pangarkar Award for highest marks in separation processes at final year BChem Engineering goes to Mr. Dev Malu. Srimati Prakashwati Gupta Award Endowment for 3rd year Chemical Engineering Girl Student Top Ranker during first 6 semester goes to Ms. Meenal Rathi. Shri Ram Kumar Gupta Award Endowment for 3rd year Chemical Engineering Boy Students Topper during first 6 semesters goes to Mr. Merul Shah. Shrikant Kulkarni Award for maximum marks in instrumentation and process control goes to Mr. Bruhandin Samiwala. Shri Suraj Kishan Punchi Gold Medal for Best Student in BTech Pharma goes to Mr. Anish Deshmukh. Mr. K.B. Kanikar Award for the topper on first 3 years in the 4th year to the student in Oils and Oleochemicals Division goes to Mr. Mayur Prabhudesai. Late Dr. Mrs. Mahalakshmi Bhagwat Prize for 2nd year BChem Engineering, 3rd semester, students' highest marks in engineering application of digital computers goes to Mr. Rajas Mehendale. Professor R.A. Rajadhyaksha Award for highest marks in chemical reaction engineering at 3rd year chemical engineering goes to Mr. Merul Shah. Professor S.B. Pandya Award for highest marks subject home paper final year BChem engineering goes to Mr. Kailash Pai. Ambuja Cement Best Home Paper Award goes to Mr. Merul Shah. Ambuja Cement Award for first ranker in each semester of all 4 years of BChem Engineering goes to Mr. Rishabh Singh, Semester 1, Mr. Rishabh Singh for Semester 2, Mr. Srinivas Acharya, Semester 3, Mr. Srinivas Acharya again for Semester 4, Mr. Prasanna Khare, Semester 5, Mr. Merul Shah, Semester 6, Mr. Suyog Saha, Semester 7, and Mr. Suyog Saha, Semester 8. Jayant Kanhere Memorial Award goes to Mr. Atharv Ketan Thigale. Professor S. Seshadri Prize, Dye Stuff Division highest marks in 2nd year, 3rd year and final year BTech goes to Mr. Sai Sanjeev Nehate, Ms. Malika N. Chaukar and Mr. Atharv Ketan Thigale. Mrs. Kamla Krishnan Award for highest marks in pharmaceuticals medicinal chemistry practical B Farm goes to Ms. Alina Faiz Patel and Ms. Nitisha N. Gaurav. T. N. Vasudevan Pharmacognosy Theory and Practical Combined at Final Year Award B Farm Science Pharmaceutical Division goes to Ms. Alina Faiz Patel. Mrs. Usha M. Joshi, SM Joshi Scholarship for Final Year BTech, 1st, 2nd and 3rd ranks goes to Mr. Anish Deshmukh, Mr. Karthik Suresh Iyer and Mr. Rahul Venkatraman. Chimanlal Choksi Memorial Prize, highest marks in each year chemical engineering goes to Mr. Rishabh Singh, Semester 2, Mr. Srinivas Acharya, Semester 4, Mr. Merul Shah, Semester 6 and Mr. Suyog Saha, Semester 8. Chimanlal Choksi Memorial Prize, second highest marks in each year chemical engineering goes to Mr. Harsh Upadhyay, Semester 2, Mr. Rajas Mehendale, Semester 4, Mr. Prasanna Khare, Semester 6 and Mr. Srijit Nair, Semester 8. Oxychem Silver Jubilee Prize, first rank textile, penultimate year, Semester 6 goes to Ms. Anusha Swapnesh Patel. Shri Mangalam Drugs and Organics Ltd. Endowment for securing highest marks in Master of Chemical Engineering goes to Ms. Vorangati Sindhuja. The Association of Food Scientists and Technologists Bombay Chapter Award, first rank in BTech Foods goes to Mr. Rahul Venkatraman. Professor P.J. Dubash Memorial, AFSTI Mumbai Chapter Award to the BTech Foods and Engineering Technology Department for securing highest marks in the subject of food chemistry goes to Ms. Tanvi Vinay Bapat. Manjula Bagmal Parikh Memorial Foundation Prize for standing first in the final year BChem Engineering and final year B Pharma goes to Mr. Suyog Saha, Semester 8 and Ms. Avni Shah, Semester 8. Professor M.A. Nabar Prize for students who stand first in chemistry in first year and second year chemical engineering goes to Mr. Rishabh Singh. And first year and second year BTech goes to Mr. Arya Darak. Professor S.K. Pradhan Prize in Pharmacy for students standing first in B.Pharm examination goes to Ms. Avni Shah. Mr. M.V. Nimkar Award for top 2 rankers of all years of UG and first year of MTech for Textiles Department goes to Mr. Abhay Kumar Bafna, Semester 4, Ms. Ashlesha Suman, Semester 4, Ms. Simran Achrekar, Semester 4, Ms. Akriti Mohanty, Semester 4, Ms. Anusha Patel, Semester 6, Ms. Samriddhi Singh, Semester 6, Ms. Reshma Ramesh M, Semester 7, Ms. Mansi English, Semester 7, Ms. Leona Pradhan, Semester 2, Ms. Dhanashri Banat, Semester 2, Mr. Sangram Singh S. Salunke, Semester 4, Mr. Harshal I. Patil, Semester 4, Mr. Shreyash Tari, Semester 2, Mr. Chaitanya Deshpande, Semester 2, Ms. Sanjana S. Shetty, Semester 4, Ms. Shamai Khan, Semester 4. Dr. S.R. Purao Endowment Prize is shared among 3 students, Ms. Malika Nikhil Chaukar, Mr. Athar Thigale, Dr. Khushbu P. Patel. Dr. B.M. Khadilkar, ex-student and Friends Endowment Fund for first year BChem Engineering, student securing highest marks in Organic Chemistry course goes to Mr. Rishabh Singh. Dr. Ram Sabnis Endowment Award for PhD thesis in dyes goes to Dr. Praveen H. Wadkar. CMP Endowment Academic Performance Award, Master of Science, is shared among 3 students, Mr. Sanjay Sridhar, Mr. Nidin Vadasre, and Ms. Anmol. BChem Engineering Merit Prizes, ICT Students Fund for the first year goes to first Mr. Rishabh Singh, second Mr. Harsh Upadhyay, and third Mr. Vikram Shanbag. For the second year, first Mr. Srinivas Acharya, second Mr. Rajas Mehendale, and third Ms. Tanvi Apte. For the third year, first goes to Mr. Prasanna Khare, second Mr. Merul Shah, and third Mr. Himanshu Sail. BTech Merit Prizes, ICT Students Fund for the first year, first Mr. Abhay Kumar Bafna, second Ms. Ashlesha Saman, third Mr. Devashish Dikshit. For the second year, first Ms. Ashvi Jain, second Ms. Gayatri Iyer, and third Mr. Hriday Shah. For the third year, first Ms. Maithili Joshi, second Ms. Aira Sarkar, and third Mr. Archis Velankar. B.Pharm Merit Prizes, ICT Students Fund for the first year, first Mr. Dhruv Sanjanwala, Second, Mr. Rahul Lakhani. And third, Mr. Shankar Narayan. For the second year, first, Miss Urmi Chile. Second, Miss Dharmesh Deore. And third, Miss Mihika Yolkar. For the third year, first, Miss Bijal Prajapati. Second, Miss Shri Vidya Vempati. And third, Miss Sonali Hanjankar. Dr. Balwan Joshi Award for top 2 rankers for first year of all branches. BChem Engineering, first, Mr. Rishabh Singh. Second, Mr. Harsh Upadhyay. B Farm, first, Mr. Dhurv Sanjanwala. Second, Mr. Rahul Lakhani. B Tech, first, Mr. Abhay Kumar Bafna. Second, Miss Ashlesha Soman. We will now be proceeding towards the awards and prizes for the academic year 21-2022. Professor V.C. Malshe Endowment Award for highest aggregate marks in BTech Chemical Engineering and Chemistry. First 3 years awards to be given to student of 6th semester BTech goes to Miss Ashvi Jain. Sardar J. Sarna Gold Medal was instituted by a DICE alumnus, Mr. S.S. Sarna, in memory of his father, Sardar J. S. Sarna. It is awarded to the graduating student of the BTech Dyestuff Technology scoring the highest CGPA. Goes to Miss Malika Chaukar. Dr. K.K. Saxena Award for securing highest aggregate marks for the first 7 semesters of the BTech Surface Engineering goes to Malav Sangvi. Professor V.G. Pangarkar Award for highest marks in separation process at final year BChem Engineering semester 7 and 8 goes to Srinivas Acharya and Naresh Dhanwani. Srimati Prakashvati Gupta Award Endowment for third year Chemical Engineering Girl Student Topper ranked during first 6 semesters. Award will be CGPA multiplied by 1000 in rupees goes to Tanvi Apte. Shri Ram Kumar Gupta Award Endowment for third year Chemical Engineering Boy Students Top Ranker during first 6 semesters goes to Srinivas Acharya. Shrikant Kulkarni Award for maximum marks in instrumentation and process control goes to Mr. Srinivas Acharya. Shri Suraj Kishan Punchi Gold Medal for Best Student in BTech Pharma goes to Ms. Maithili Joshi. Madam Kamla Krishnan and Professor S.K. Pradhan Award for Pharmaceutical Chemistry in 8th semester goes to Ms. Maithili Joshi and Ms. Sonali Hanjankar. Mr. K.B. Kanekar Award for the topper on first 3 years in the 4th year to the student in Oils and Oleochemicals Division goes to Pratibha Thamizavel. Late Dr. Mrs. Mahalakshmi Bhagwat Prize for second year BChem Engineering semester 3rd students highest marks in engineering application of digital computers goes to Priyanshu Singh. Professor R.A. Rajadhyaksha Award for highest marks in chemical reaction engineering at third year chemical engineering goes to Akansha Gubbala, Srinivas Acharya, Naresh Dhanwani and Rajas Mehendale. Professor S.B. Pandya Award for highest marks subject home paper final year BChem Engineering goes to Merul Shah. Ambuja Sivant Award for first ranker in each semester of all 4 years of BChem Engineering goes to Ruchita Pawar Semester 1, Ruchita Pawar Semester 2, Rishabh Singh Semester 3, Rishabh Singh Semester 4, Srinivas Acharya Semester 5, Srinivas Acharya Semester 6, Prasanna Khare Semester 7, Merul Shah Semester 7, Prasanna Khare Semester 8 and Merul Shah again Semester 8. M.V. Joshi Platinum Jubilee Endowment in Semester 1 and 2 of BTech Polymer goes to Tanveer Mahajan for Semester 1 and Semester 2. Jayant Kanhere Memorial Award goes to Miss Malika Chaukar. Professor S. Seshadri Prize, Dye Stuff Division, highest marks, second year, third year and final year BTech goes to Darsh Vithalani, second year BTech, Riya Patkeshwar, third year BTech and Malika Chaukar, final year BTech. Mrs. Kamla Krishnan Award for highest marks in Pharmaceuticals Medicinal Chemistry, Practical B Farm goes to Shri Vidya Vempati. T.N. Vasudevan Pharmacognosy Theory and Practical Combined at Final Year Award B Farm Science Pharmaceutical Division goes to Shraddha N. Pingale and Shri Vidya Vempati. Mrs. Usha M. Joshi, S.M. Joshi Scholarship for Final Year BTech first, second and third rank goes to Maithili Joshi, Aira Sarkar and Tishya Srivastav. Chimanlal Choksi Memorial Prize, highest marks in each year Chemical Engineering goes to Ruchita Pawar Semester 2, Rishabh Singh Semester 4, Srinivas Acharya Semester 6 and Prasanna Khare and Merul Shah for Semester 8. Chimanlal Choksi Memorial Prize, second highest marks in each year Chemical Engineering goes to Sarthak Agarwal Semester 2, Prithvi Dake Semester 4, Rajas Mehendale Semester 6 and Himanshu Sail Semester 8. Oxychem Silver Jubilee Prize, first rank Textile Penultimate Year, third year Semester 6 goes to Simran Achrekar. Shri Mangalam Drugs and Organics Limited Endowment for securing highest marks in Master of Chemical Engineering Semester 1 and 2 goes to Anushka Agarwal Semester 1, Yash Kumar Patel Semester 2. The Association of Food Scientists and Technologists Bombay Chapter first rank in BTech Foods goes to Ritik Shetty Semester 8. Professor P.J. Dubash Memorial AFSTI Mumbai Chapter Award to the BTech Food and Engineering Technology Department for securing highest marks in the subject of food chemistry goes to Devraj Vijay Singh Rajput Semester 5. Manjula Bagmal Parekh Memorial Foundation Prize for standing first in the final year BChem Engineering and final year B Farm goes to Prasanna Khare Semesters 8 and Merul Shah Semester 8. And for B Farm, Shri Vidya Vempati Semester 8. Professor M.A. Nabar Prize for students who stand first in chemistry, theory and practical in first year and second year chemical engineering goes to Urv Devsthali, first year BChem engineering. And for first year and second year BTech goes to Anushka Date. Professor S.K. Pradhan Prize in Pharmacy for students standing first in B Pharm examination goes to Shri Vidya Vempati. Mr. M.V. Nimkar Award for top 2 rankers of all years of UG and first year of MTech for Textile Department goes to Malhar Gorde, Semester 2, Madhura Kasture, Semester 2, Ashlesha Soman, Semester 4, Yash Dadich, Semester 4, Simran Achrekar, Semester 6, Akriti Mohanty, Semester 6, Anusha Patel, Semester 7, Samriddhi Singh, Semester 7, Kesa Varapu Shanmukh, Semester 2, Vishal Khilari, Semester 2, Rajlakshmi N. Narale, Semester 2, Aishwarya Nair, Semester 2, Tari Shri Yasha, Semester 4, and Chaitanya K. Deshpande, Semester 4. Dr. S.R. Purao Endowment Prize goes to Riya Patkeshwar, third year BTech, Malika Chaukar, final year BTech. Dr. B.M. Khadilkar, ex-student and Friends Endowment Fund for first year BChem Engineering, students securing highest marks in organic chemistry course, both practical and theory, goes to Urv Devsthali, Semester 2. CMP Endowment Academic Performance Award, Master of Science, goes to first Sheetal Chawla, second Swarina Jain, third Prapti Vinayak Churi. BChem Engineering Merit Prizes, ICT Students Fund for the first year goes to first Ruchita Pawar, second Sarthak Prashant Agarwal, third Urv Devsthali. For the second year, first Rishabh Singh, second Prithvi Dake, third Harsh Upadhyay. For the third year, first Srinivas Acharya, second Rajas Mehendale, third Tanvi Apte. BTech Merit Prizes, ICT Students Fund for the first year goes to Anushka Date, and second is shared among 3 students, Abhinandan Chopada, Shravani Patil and Pritesh Roy. And third goes to Tanveer Mahajan. For the second year, first Abhay Kumar Bafna, second Devashish Dikshit, third Amisha Divedi. For the third year, first Ashvi Jain, and second is shared between Gurpreet Bharaj and Hriday Shah. Third, Gayatri Iyer. B Pharm Merit Prizes ICT Students Fund for the first year. First is shared between 2 students, Arya Gohad and Naomi Jerry. Second, Nupur Gupta. Third, Bhavika Seth. For the second year, first, Dhruv Sanjanwala. Second, Rahul Lakhani. And third, Vignesh Shankar Narayana. For the third year, first, Urmi Chile. Second, Arnav Joshi. Third, Mihika Yolkar. Dr. Balwan Joshi Award for top 2 rankers for first year of all branches BChem Engineering goes to first Ruchita Pawar, second Sarthak Agarwal. B Farm first is shared between Arya Gohar and Naomi Jerry. Second, Nupur Gupta. For BTech, first Anushka Date, and second is shared between 3 students, Abhinandan Chopada, Sharvari Patil and Pritesh Roy. I would like to mention that there are some awards which are yet to be finalized, so these names will be displayed on the ICT Mumbai official website. We will now have songs by Shri Vignesh Shankar Narayana and Shri Srirang Datar.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुपुरसायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यखलक्षेत्रे गुरुसर्वसराराध्याय गुरुपुत्रपरितात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
मन मदिरा ते जाने मन मदिरा ते जाने उजळून घे साधका मन मदिरा ते जाने उजळून घे साधका संवेदना संवेदना संवाद सहवेदना जपदाना मन मदिरा ते जाने उजळून घे साधका मन मदिरा तळहाताच्या रेषामी सहज सुखा का भोगी कुणी तळहाताच्या रेषामी सहज सुखा का भोगी कुणी स्वयं प्रकाशी तू तारा चैतन्याचा गाभारा भर पंखातून स्वप्न उद्याचे झेप घेरे पाखरा उजळून घे साधका मन मदिरा तेजाने उजळून घे साधका मन मदिरा मन मदिरा मन मदिरा नी 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 सा 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 नी 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 सा 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 नी नी सा सा रे रे सा सा नि ध प मम प मम प मम प मम प म प नी ध प म ग रे सा नि सा नी नी सा सा नी नी सा सा रे रे सा सा मम प नि ध प मम प म प नि ध प प नि सा रे रे प नि सा म ग रे ग रे सा प नि ध नि ध प रे ग रे सा नि सा रे म ग रे सा रे म प नि सा प नि सा प नि सा प नि सा रे 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 सा नि म प नि नि सा 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 नि सा 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 नि सा 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 नि सा 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 नि रे सा सा नि रे सा सा नि रे सा सा नि रे सा म रे सा प नि सा रे सा नि ध प नि ध प म ग रे सा नि सा रे
I would now request Professor R.R. Deshmukh, Registrar, Institute of Chemical Technology, to please deliver vote of thanks.
It is my pleasure to propose the vote of thanks to the honorable dignitaries present here for annual day function of ICT, Mumbai. To begin with, I am grateful to Shri Ravi Goenka ji, President ICC and Managing Director, Laxmi Organic Industries Ltd, for gracing the occasion as the chief guest in spite of his busy schedule, and also for delivering the UAA distinguished oration at today's function. I am thankful to Professor A.B. Pandit, Honorable Vice Chancellor ICT, Mumbai, and President Technological Association ICT for all the guidance and support extended for today's annual day function. I am also thankful to Professor Ashok Atle, Dean Students and Alumni Affairs and Vice President Technological Association ICT for his guidance and support for today's function. I thank Dr. Sanjay Mehndale, President UAA and the UDCT Alumni Association for their support for today's event. I extend my thanks to Mr. Prathamesh Patil, General Secretary, Technological Association, the members of Technological Association ICT Mumbai, and the members of the faculty, support staff, and the students of ICT Mumbai for their help and hard work in making today's function a grand success. I close my thanksgiving with congratulating all the awardees at today's function. Thank you.
I would now like to call Parth Vaidya for the closing prayer.